Spring is here and you're wondering how you should store your snowblower for the summer. Should you drain the gas out or stabilize it? And should you change the oil now or wait till the fall? Hey guys and gals, welcome to Garage Gear. I'm JB. I have spoken with multiple small engine mechanics about these procedures. And regardless of whether you used your snowblower a lot or a little, many of them recommended performing these procedures to ensure a good startup in the late fall or early winter. And doing these procedures will help keep your snowblower out of the shop and money in your pocket. Let's go. The first step is non-negotiable. The gas in the tank, we gotta get it out. Gas left in the tank can gum up the carburetor, making the snowblower difficult to start when winter decides to rear its ugly head again. My neighbor bought a brand new Troy-built snowblower in December of 2022. She used it once, did nothing to it, and let it sit for over a year with gas sitting in the tank. Then in January of 2024, we got hit with some snow. She tried to fire it up, then she tried again, and again, wasn't happening. She brought it to me, I pulled the carburetor all apart, and lo and behold, what do we have? A clogged jet in the carburetor. This was a direct result of bad gas. Brand new snowblower, used it once, and it wouldn't start because gas sat in the tank. Now, she simply had no idea what to do with her machine at the end of the season. But had she have done this one simple step, she probably would have alleviated this problem. Many small engine mechanics will recommend just simply taking the machine out into your driveway, turning it on, and letting the engine run until it dies. Run the gas right out of it. That'll get about 98% of the gas out of the entire snowblower, leaving only a tiny bit behind inside the carburetor bowl. If you don't want to overthink it, this is a great way to go, and next winter, all you gotta do is fill it back up and your machine will start right up. And to help the YouTube algorithm not overthink this video, would you mind hitting that like button? Thank you very much. Now here's another small engine mechanic approved method. You could simply drain the gas out. I like to take the gas and drain it right back into the gas can so that way I can reuse it in my lawnmowers. It's as simple as this. Take your gas can and a clean funnel, stick it in and position it right underneath where your carburetor sits. Now here is the carburetor. This bolt here that's facing at an angle is your drain bolt. And this bolt here on the bottom is the carburetor bowl bolt. We're gonna loosen up this drain bolt and funnel the gas right out into our gas can. This is a 10mm socket. We just loosen it, and it should start dripping. We're gonna take that bolt out. From here, the gas is now draining right back into our can. Once the drips have stopped, you're done draining. From here, you can push your gas can aside and reinstall your drain bolt. Tighten it back up, take your socket, and then retighten it. Just like that. The cool thing about this method is now you can reuse all your gas. Doing this method will ensure a great startup next winter because there's nothing left in the tank and absolutely nothing in the carburetor. The final option you could try is putting fuel stabilizer in the gas tank. Small engine mechanics that I spoke with on this topic are 50-50 on it. Some say it's good to do, and others disagree. In my experience, I tried using fuel stabilizer one season, and the snowblower just didn't quite run right the next winter. It ran rough, and I ended up cleaning the carburetor to make the snowblower run smoother. Personally, I just like draining the gas into my gas can so I can reuse the fuel in my lawn equipment. Some people out there, they swear by using fuel stabilizer. I only use fuel stabilizer and my machine runs great every season. Look, this topic is more controversial than eating macaroni and cheese with a fork or a spoon. It's about to get heated in the comments. On to the next procedure, changing the oil. Changing the oil regularly is a simple procedure recommended by all small engine mechanics. I like to kick this procedure off by tipping the front of the snowblower up a few inches by putting some blocks underneath it so that way oil can drain out faster. Now most snowblowers have an oil spout on the back or perhaps on the side by the tire. From here, we're gonna loosen up our drain plug and pour our oil right into a pan. And out it comes. Almost missed the pan there. Now my oil here, not too dirty. And the reason being is it didn't get much use toward the end of the season. That's okay. We're gonna change it out anyways. Typically your machine ran hard throughout the season. The oil is now dirty and you don't want that oil with everything sitting inside it trapped inside your engine. Change the oil out now in the spring so that way the snowblower can take a long summer nap with nothing but clean oil inside it. Plus you'll be ready to go when the first snowflake falls next winter. All the oil is now out. We're gonna reinstall the drain plug. We're gonna tighten it back down. And you want it snug, you don't want to over tighten it or else it'll be impossible to get it off that tube. Good, that'll do. From here you want to fill the oil level back up to the appropriate level based on your owner's manual or your dipstick. One thing I would simply not recommend doing is draining the oil out and then not refilling it. Oil is designed to keep things lubricated inside your engine and prevent rust and corrosion. By not refilling the engine with oil at this time, you're basically saying to your engine components, go ahead rust, have fun. I would never do that to a car that I owned, and I would definitely recommend refilling it once you drain it. Now the next procedure is so incredibly simple that nearly everyone forgets to do it. including myself sometimes. What we gotta do is set the engine at top dead center. This here is an engine piston, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna ram up and down inside the cylinder of the engine. If we leave the piston at the bottom, what could happen to the cylinder walls is they could rust or corrode. So what we'll do is we'll set the piston at the very top. This is what's called top dead center. It's as simple as this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the cord until we feel some resistance. Now right there, I feel some resistance going on the rope, and that means that the piston is at the top. Now if I keep pulling, what's gonna happen is the piston is gonna move to the bottom, just like that. So by pulling on this rope, the piston just went all the way back down. Now if I reset and pull again, right about there, that's it. All I gotta do is reset the cord. The piston is now at the top, and we have this engine at top dead center. Now at this point, it's a great idea to put some cardboard down and apply a protective coating to all the metal on your snowblower. This will prevent any rust and corrosion, increase the longevity of your snowblower, and make it shine. Most homeowners can usually find a can of WD-40 laying around their garage. WD-40 is a great, cheap protectant that you could use to apply to any metal surface on your snowblower. There are some better ones out there, and most small engine mechanics will recommend applying something like this, and this will work just fine. Take a rag and your WD-40, spray a panel, and go to town. This really shines it up nice and provides a good layer of protection. Just go around the whole machine and coat everything as best you can. Give it all a quick wipe. That's all set. Now on my old Aaron's Deluxe 28 that I gave to my dad, the garage geezer, that snowblower I coated every season religiously with WD-40 for about the first several years. And that snowblower remains rust-free. I coated it every single year with a heavy coat, and it held up just fine. Wipe everything down like the chute, any side panels, and definitely don't forget the wheels. Look at that, those wheels are shiny. Now, if you're looking to fully protect your snowblower, get in every little nook and cranny, and ensure that rust never takes hold of your machine, then check out my snowblower rust proofing course linked down below in the description. The course has received numerous positive reviews, with many people saying that the snowblower is going to last many more years, clog less, and throw farther. The snowblower rust proofing course is a great way to make your snowblower last for many years to come, and the perfect final step before you tuck it away for summer. And to all those that have purchased the course, thank you very much. One last thing I like to do before I tuck the snowblower away is cover it. Because of where my house is positioned and the direction of the wind that normally passes by our house, the garage here can actually get pretty dusty. So having this cover is very handy. It helps keep the snowblower clean for the next season, and I'll have a few covers linked down below in the description for you. Now, if you want to take this snowblower summerizing to the next level, here's a few other things you could do. Let's start right up front here with the gearbox. I've done a few videos on how to repair and maintain these, and again, I'll have those linked down below in the description to help you out, but you'll want to make sure that the grease or oil levels are where they need to be, and make sure that nothing is leaking out of the sides or the seals of the gearbox. Now for the augers. Make sure that the shear pins are intact and replace them if they are bent or broken, and make sure that your augers are fully lubricated to help prevent them from seizing. It's also a good idea to pop off your belt cover. This way you can get a closer look at your belts and take a look for any cracks or breaks. Now I don't want you to get nervous about this next one, because things here are actually a lot simpler than you think. Carefully pull the belly pan off and take a quick look at what's going on inside your transmission. Check out your hex shaft and your friction disc. Make sure everything's properly lubricated, and again, I'll have those videos linked down below in the description. Now the wheels. Probably not a bad idea to pull the wheels off and lubricate the axles. This will prevent any seizing and make future repairs a lot more accessible. Quick tip here back to the engine. You could check your spark plug, clean it, and re-gap it if necessary. Handlebars and controls. Now's a good time to get underneath your dash and check your cables and your controls. Make sure everything's in good working order and tighten anything up as necessary. Make any replacements now so you don't forget about them. That way you're not waiting on parts to arrive when winter strikes again. Now here's a quick few frequently asked questions about summerizing your snowblower. Here's one I hear a lot: can I just turn off the fuel shutoff valve and be good to go? Well, gas is still trapped in your gas tank. It's going to sit there for a while and eventually break down. Then when you go to turn the gas back on in the wintertime, that gas will flow down into your carburetor, and you don't want that clean out headache. Now I know another gentleman that told me he does this. I asked him, did he tuck his snowblower away for the summertime? He said, yep. I wiped it down, topped off the gas tank, and tucked it in the corner. Ethanol free or not, I do not trust gas sitting in a tank for several months on end. First, you never know what pump the gas came from. And second, was it ethanol free fuel pumped through an 87 octane hose? Because sometimes fuel lines are shared. He may get lucky and his machine may start next winter, but topping it off and just letting it sit for months on end is just asking for trouble. Well, I don't do any of this to my machine and it runs fine. Well, for most people, a snowblower is the second most expensive item next to their car in their garage. I knew someone that didn't care for their snowblower at all, and after a short time, their engine seized. And any small engine mechanic would recommend performing some basic maintenance to prolong the life of your snowblower. For more cool garage gear content, click or tap the screen right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the garage.